What's up, everyone? FC here from E-MTB Review, and I have some late October news hanging on to the last of daylight savings times. And I have a lot of news in different areas. I'm going to mix it up for you guys today. So, the first one is a follow up on YT Industries. Looks like they are closing shop, liquidating. So, our viewers in the UK are saying, hey, Marriott and company is auctioning off some bikes, auctioning off some company vans and whatnot, materials, jigs, whatever, bike stand. So really, it's the beginning of the end. And then something surprising is a viewer of mine said, "Hey, he went to the San Clemente YT Mill store in Southern California and to do a demo, and they said they were closing shop. They're closing shop, and he doesn't. We don't know if it's permanent or whatnot, but that can only mean one thing to me. So definitely they are shutting down. Marcus Flossmann said he's going to buy back the company, but that's gonna be tough. I wouldn't bank on that. It's very risky. So if you're a YT owner, I don't know. My advice, I would say, if I had a bike, YT bike, I'd sell it. I'd sell it now, sell it for a loss. It's going to be a lot worse next year. Or if you want to hang on to it, if you love the bike, maybe buy some spare parts. If there's the derailleur hanger or something, a spare battery that you had your eye on. Hopefully they'll still sell it to you. But yeah, they're liquidating, so there's gonna be some deals here and there. Would I buy one? No, I would not buy one. Next piece of news is the Red Bull Rampage. Red Bull Rampage did not kill anybody this year, but they got close. All right, don't mean to chuckle, but I haven't really watched Red Bull Rampage in 2 to 3 years. I'm just not happy about that whole gig, about what they're doing and how they are really endangering our best athletes. You know, you dangle a carrot, a prize money, and fame to athletes, and on a cliff like that, and it nothing good's gonna come out. And this year there were two crashes, and I'm really surprised no one has died yet on Red Bull Rampage. I mean, you fall off a cliff, you could snap your neck. You fall off 10 feet, you could snap your neck and perish. But over here, the risks are just insane, and you have to keep amping up the difficulty to have any chance of winning. And what happened was two folks, Adolf Silva, former YT Industries athlete, did a double backflip, and he crashed and broke his back. He's paralyzed from the chest down. Whether he'll regain some feeling, we'll see. There's a fundraiser for him at the moment, so I'll link to that. Let's try to help Adolf out. Seems like a really nice fellow. Been trying to break in and trying to get that win. So he felt compelled to really, go outside of go outside of his comfort zone, go into the highway, to the danger zone, and the bad things happen. And one of the best guys, Emil Johansson, he fell really badly and pulled out his hip socket. And I haven't watched any footage. That's how unhappy I am about that event. But I feel like I got to report on it. These are big things, and he was gonna fall off a cliff. He hung on to something, and someone saved him. So luckily, both these guys are happy to be alive. But these are very, very serious injuries. The hip socket, that's a Bo Jackson injury. Where remember, I don't know if you guys are old as me. He was playing baseball, playing football, crushing everybody, and then someone just yanked his leg. He got pulled out. Career was over. Career was over like that. Hip injuries are not a joke. Adolf Silva, I don't know what's going to happen to him. I just feel terrible. I'm lucky. I'm happy no one perished, but it's just a matter of time. This thing's got to stop. On to some good news. We have an athlete, Christopher Blevins. He won the 2025 overall XCO World Series Championship. He is World Series champ. This is the most important of all the cross country accolades, medals up for grabs. And this is an important event because It is our first World Cup series win in 34 years. 34 years. And I've been watching, World Cup XC for a while, but it's really depressing if you're rooting for the Americans, because our last win was the first one. It's Ned Overend, and he's the legend. But I'll argue that, hey, that was the first. I think that was the first event held in Durango, and in his hometown. And the super elite athletes were not training, were not competing yet in the same level as it has in the last 30 years. So good win, but it was in the developmental years. Since then, we have been shelled. We have been shelled in the World Cup events. What really makes him special, I think he's a very deep and appreciative individual. I've seen his channel, his videos. He's like a poet, and he values his journey. He values the biking, and he is a great descender. He's a great descender. If you see him descend, and the first win he had on the World Cup uh, long course, he just took it on a downhill and held it. So he's a true biker, a lot like that. Who's that guy? Peter Sagan. Peter Sagan, love him. Great descender as well. The women have fared a little bit better, but World Cup uh, wins have been in the series have been difficult as well since the days of Julie Furtado, Alison Dunlop, and whatnot. We had Kate Courtney who won a one-day race, the World Championship, but it's been difficult as well. But they've done a lot better than the men, so gives me high hope. All right, next piece of news is Syntace has announced insolvency. Syntace is a division of Lightville, I believe. They made bikes. Syntace is their components, which you see on a lot of really cool bikes because they're very light, they're very strong, and they have said they are bankrupt, Chapter 11, insolvency, but they say they have investors. They only have a few dozen people, so it's not too heavy a load, and a pretty good brand. So they feel confident they're going to make it out of this. Next piece of news is Rivian sells an e-bike, an e-bike. Remember I alluded that, hey, the e-bike space is bigger than biking. It's personal mobility, and Rivian feels strongly enough that they formed another company, and it is called and it's they invited me to the press launch. I have a friend there, and I didn't make it, but they seem like a bunch of influencers that were there that just said, "Hey, this is the best invention since the iPhone." But it looks like an Apple computer with an inverted fork. It looks strange. So what it is, it's around a $5,000 bike. It has 180 newton meters of torque. It has a swappable rear chassis, so you can put like a saddle or a cargo bike. Modular system, has an inverted fork, mind you. It's only around 5 grand, and it doesn't have a dropper post. I don't see one, but it looks really strange. But if you're kind of a hipster, urban influencer, you won't mind it so much. But man, there's like a big desktop computer on your bottom bracket on this thing. And one of the things that's kind of interesting is there's no connection between your pedals and the wheel. So it's a fly-by-wire. So it's a pedal assist to up to 28 miles an hour, Class 3 e-bike. But what you're doing when you're pedaling is you are pushing a generator to charge the battery, and then a brain says, "Hey, he's assisting. Put it over there." So that's gonna feel strange. How do you feel the resistance of the bike when you're not connected to the rear wheel? They have to simulate that somehow. Something interesting is the head of also is Chris Hugh. Chris Hugh, I go, man, this guy looks familiar. He looks familiar. And he's that guy who was in all the Aero is Everything wind tunnel videos of Specialized. He was a very important guy at Specialized for their technology, their research, and he has moved on many years ago, and now he found a spot here at Rivian. Here's the CEO of Rivian. Super fit dudes. I think they bike. Chris Yu. I looked at him. He's smart. He graduated from Caltech, and then he went to Stanford for his master's, and then Stanford for his PhD. So he's a smart guy. But we'll see. This is a big play for Rivian. They are staffing up like crazy, and I hope they succeed. There's a big risk the way this bike is and the way it looks, but seems to have the proper innovation needed to succeed in this space. All right, two more pieces of news. One is Strava pulls out of their lawsuit against Garmin. They said, "My bad, sorry, just kidding," and they're out. So that was dumb. Anyway, click here if you want to see a video on that. One of the dumbest moves I've seen. So it gives me no confidence in the exec staff for taking this company public if they're pulling moves like this. And the last 20 months have been rough for them. But some very odd decisions. Still rough going here in the bike industry, but if we are out riding, it is our drug of choices. There's our mental health, our physical health, our longevity. So and keeps us away from the distractions out there in the real world, because there's a lot of rough news distractions out there. But when I'm on a bike with my buds, having a beverage, I'm pretty happy. So thanks a ton for listening, guys.